Seamless. United in the Europa League. Europa League. Let me tell them one time, I'm going to say Europa League. Europa.
Yes. Fenerbahçe won. Manchester United won. I just had to restart everything. This Flecknology is following me around as well. So everyone can have the members can indeed have the link to this. It's 1 win in 11 in Europe for Manchester United. A draw this time away in Turkey. This is the full-time view where members can call in. They can have their say. If you do wish to become a member, you can do so. Links in the video description. It's also pinned in the chat. If you are a member, you do want to call in, you can go over to the United View YouTube page. You can go over to the community tab, find the link there, and you can call in. You can have your say. I mean, I kind of said it all towards the end of the match view there with KG. I'm not surprised. I think largely, actually, it's not the worst result in the world. I don't think it's the worst result in the world in terms of before when the draw was made. You go away, Fenerbahçe, take a draw, whatever. But I'm also not surprised, and I'm also not. I'm not at this stage where it's like, I'm going to be screaming and shouting, Ten Hag out and all this kind of stuff. Because for me, my mind was made up several weeks ago, and I'm not surprised really by what I'm watching. I'm not surprised by what I'm seeing. The football's not good, and it's just not good to watch. It's not fun either, is it? It's just not great, and naturally, now the discussion will once again be about, are you being negative or are you being positive? How you view things, well, it's actually, we didn't lose, etc. It's just not good, is it? It's just not good. As things stand at the moment, still going through to the playoff round of the Europa League, not automatically through. For me, I mentioned that I think the more important games at the weekend in the Premier League, but it's not good, is it? Not good. It's not great. It's difficult to watch, but it's also not surprising at the same time either. I think definitely at this stage at the moment, it's like if you're watching the matches expecting something different, that really is the definition of insanity, isn't it? It's the definition of insanity of same thing over and over, expecting the same different results because it's the same results. It's particularly in Europe, 1 win in 11. Last time we won a game in Europe was a year ago. That's where we're at as Manchester United at the moment. So, yes, let's get straight to the calls this evening. Let's start off with Show. What did you make of what you witnessed this evening?
It's funny because the way KG summed it up is exactly how I feel. It's just like it's like I'm where you're at. Like, you don't get really like, I'm not angry at tonight's result because I'm like, I predicted a draw, and when you actually contextualize that game, like you said, the game itself, regardless of what happened in the previous two results, we probably would have taken the draw. But I think overall, when you look at it, three draws, it looks bad. 1 win in 11. I think there's another record now. No wins in our last 6 European games, first time since 1983.
Yeah, I just saw that, yeah.
That's another one. And when you contextualize that, 5 of those 6 games we haven't won: Copenhagen, Galatasaray, Twente, Porto, Fenerbahçe. Not exactly well-beating sides, are they? So, no. I mean, and I think it's just, it's so sad. Like, it's hard to describe like how you feel, because it's like when I watched the game tonight, I'm just like that second half after Fenerbahçe scored, it just petered out, and it's like I think you might have said it's like the word to describe it is dull. We're just so dull to watch. It's like there's nothing like normally, right? I don't know how it is with other people, like with other teams, but you watch a game of football with your mates, right? And afterwards, you want to talk about the moments that happened in the game. Oh, I loved it when he went past that play and we created that chance that, you see that great bit, we didn't score, but that great bit of football, that was great. Like, we don't get to talk like that because there's nothing to be excited about.
No, I mean, our games are sometimes good to watch, I guess, from the neutral's point of view, because you're like, Man United are rubbish and they'll probably concede lots of goals and it might be some craziness. But in terms of actual, like, pure football, let's have a look, see if we watch a good game of football. It's not that. No, it's not that. And like you said, I don't know about you, but I'm just at the stage where I'm like, I'm really angry. anymore. I mean, it's always upsetting to see your team play so badly, but it's not really a surprise, is it? You know what I mean? Can you get angry at stuff that you expect to happen?
Yeah,
all the time.
We've accepted it. That's the thing. We've accepted that. We don't accept it, but we've accepted it. If you get what I mean, like we don't agree with it, but we know what we are now. Like we know, like that's not to say that we might not beat West Ham on Sunday, you know.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that look, I'm every fan's different. There's two types of fans, right? I'm one of those where I like to enjoy the 90 minutes. I like my team to play good football, because the way I see it, you're watching 90 minutes of something. It's like you're not gonna watch a movie if the whole movie's shit, but the ending's good. That's how I see it. But some people don't care how their team plays as long as they win. That's fair enough. Each to their own, right? But for me, it's like if I could see good football, but there's little things missing, but I know we're going somewhere, I can accept it, even if we finished sixth. I mean, not in the third season, but let's say it was the first season. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if I could see something, the football, there's bits there. If we just put this player in that position, that player there, it's going to get better. But you watch it's like, it's soulless. That's the best way I can describe it. It's so soulless watching it. You just like, the minutes, like it drags by. It's like you can count the seconds in your head, like it's going 47-21, 47-22, 47, and then you just like, you're watching the time go by, and it's like, and it's the same predictable. Again today, we conceded in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Remember I said something important. It's the same. It's like the same rinse repeat over again. It's the same thing we're saying. Like, how was Anthony without kicking a ball now in favor ahead of Ahmad?
Yeah,
like how? Like, and the thing is that I'm gonna want to contextualize this, because I think some people have gone a bit overboard on how Ahmad started the season. I don't think Ahmad has been sensational, but the gripe is with the fact that he's now back out of favor, and the guy that's in favor hasn't done anything to go back in favor. Yeah. That's the crazy. It's a different thing if a player's gone ahead of him, done something, and then it's like, oh, Ahmad, you gotta rise up to that level now. Yeah. Anthony scored a penalty against Barnsley, right? And is now coming on ahead of Ahmad. And by the way, pre-season, wasn't it some quote from Ten Hag where Ahmad is going to be an important player for us this season, or all this kind of stuff?
This has to be Ahmad's year or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like 2-3 games in, and now, and if Anthony hadn't gotten injured today, that would have been 3 games in a row where Ahmad got 0 minutes.
Yeah.
For what? What has he done wrong where he can't even get 10-15 minutes to affect a game? Considering, Owen, we're not winning these games when he doesn't come on even.
and also as well, when he did come on, I think the first thing he did was get the fullback booked. He flew through him because he was trying to beat him. And it's like, again, it's those kind of things, isn't it? When if you're winning and you're making those sort of questionable subs or questionable decisions, then you go, look, it's working. But when you're not playing well consistently, you're not playing good football, and you're also not getting results, that's when naturally people start going like, you've lost it. Like you must have lost it, because like you said, and it's not even, I'm glad you brought up the Ahmad start to the season form, because it's not like he's been electric by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But it's the logic, isn't it? It's the logic going, well, that doesn't make any sense when this guy's so far out in Anthony in the cold. Like, what? And even, I mean, I know that obviously people will talk about the 10 thing, because I kind of do get it in the sense of like, I'm going to play Mazraoui in the 10, which look, kind of half worked.
But Owen, but
it is a thing where it's like, but
that's nuts.
It's not as if Ahmad has never played as a 10. He spent a lot of time there for Sunderland, and he's talking about Mazraoui because he played there like 4 or 5 years ago. Is bad.
Mazraoui has played one game in his career at 10. It's the equivalent of a defender going in goal when a keeper gets sent off. You wouldn't then play that defender in goal for the foreseeing game. It doesn't make sense. So and it's especially like out of all the players, imagine like you go, we've got no 10s, they're all injured, and you go, you know who I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my fullback there. That's nuts. Like, you could have even put Xerxes there and put Hoyland up front. That would have made more sense.
Could have done what they kind of did anyway when it was like, right, Casemiro comes
Yeah.
on, Eriksen goes a bit
Yeah.
higher. Like
That's what
they even went to that at the end because he went, "Oh, this is mental."
Yeah, exactly. Because and I actually think it's been quite. I've not seen what the reaction to it was like on Twitter when it first came out because I was quite late to see the team news, but it seemed quite underplayed. Like when you actually deep, it's actually nuts, Owen. Mazraoui in the 10. You have to actually say it out loud.
It was actually, to be honest, it was quite just a lot of denial, really. You know what I mean? It was quite a lot of denial where it's like, no, he won't be in the 10. He won't be in the 10. And to the, you know, when it gets like, no, you're being stupid now. He won't be in the 10. And then he was. And it was like, well, now what?
Yeah. And it's like your third season in, after 600 million spent, we're playing a fullback in the 10. And then you go, what on earth are we doing here?
Yeah. It's mad. It's mad. Just finally, what do you think is going to happen the weekend? I mean, you mentioned earlier on, could beat West Ham, I suppose, and then that might recontextualize.
Yeah.
But how do you think we'll get on, and where do you think we're going? Is there any direction about where we're going?
No. I said to you, I mean, even when we beat Brentford, I said, big picture, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't. We saw that again today because we went back to type today, right? I'll tell you right now, I mean, that game on Sunday is going to be horrible to watch because you're going to have West Ham. They're going to just sit back and try and play on the counter because they're a team devoid of confidence. We still look like a team devoid of confidence despite the Brentford win. We could easily cancel it. It could even be a 0-0. I mean, that's the thing because it's not like we score a lot of goals and they might even take the draw because they're desperate for anything. We might nick it. It's 0-0 or either team nicks it 1-0. I don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think we might edge it, but I said big picture. I don't think anything's really kind of changing, to be honest, big picture. But there you go. Big up, Show. Appreciate you calling in, as always, long-time member. Big up, Nathaniel, with the super chat says, the Mets and United are making me so sad this year. Well, Mets and United, joke's on you, Nathaniel. My goodness me, that is not good selection. How many likes are we currently at the moment? We got over 600 people watching. If you haven't already clicked the like button, be sure to subscribe as well. Bottom right-hand corner. Where should we go to next? Let's get some war stories. Uncle, talk to me. I can't believe you're still awake after watching that. How are you feeling?
Owen, you know,
Yes.
in the war in Opobo in 1973,
Yes.
right?
I recall it well.
We had to trek. We trekked for 6 hours. You know, we had these bottles of water that we carried. You know, this calabash, you know, guard of water, and it's because of how hot the sun was. It dried up some of the water. You know, it is only by the grace of God that we are alive today. You know, but when I think back about the war, it just brings back memories. You know, and I can only think about the war because this is the most nothing has really changed performance. You know, this is the most more of the same performance. You know, there's no. It's almost like there's nothing new. You know, it's not Man United. This is what you expect from them. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, when the formation came up, we kept, like you said, we kept denying the fact that Mazraoui will play in that attacking midfield. You know, and like the last caller, I don't know what Ahmad needs to do to start. Like it was that bad that he started a fullback. And then when he needed to make an attacking change, he brought in Anthony. I mean, look at the players starting ahead of our attacker. Look at the players that our manager is choosing to start ahead of Ahmad. And then you wonder what exactly. And I looked at the boy when he was coming in the 89th minute. And I was just feeling pity for him, you know. I was just feeling pity. So we can't even play Ahmad in this game. You know, well, I don't know. I don't know.
You sound like everyone. You sound like me at the moment, where it's like just sound very defeated, very deflated. You know, this is reality. This is where we are.
You can't be optimistic. Where is the optimism, Owen? Is this not Europe?
I don't know. It's not even Champions League, Uncle. This isn't even the big competition. Imagine we were in the Champions League. Could you imagine? Oh.
Well, we didn't have to imagine. We were there last season.
Yeah,
How did it finish? we finished bottom of our group, you know. So we don't even have to imagine. But look at what we are doing, Owen. Look at you know what I saw, and I was like somebody said, I watched the Bayern Munich and Barcelona match yesterday.
Yeah.
You need to see boys versus men, Owen. That match just showed me that you don't have to have the most physical players to play football. For those people who keep saying Ahmad is not physical enough, have you seen Barcelona players? The defenders that were marking out Harry Kane yesterday were 19-year-old defenders marking out Harry Kane, dominating the midfield against the likes of Paulinho and Joshua Kimmich. Small boys everywhere. You know, yet we keep giving the excuse for Man United. Oh, he's not physical enough to play. Who told you it's about physicality? And
look
then
at how Hansi Flick has just transformed him, and he's only come in the summer, just like that.
Exactly. You know, exactly. And another thing that shocks me till now is how bad our players. I keep saying this thing every day, and I've told some people, if we can get this right, Owen, I believe that is the first massive step in moving forward. We can't give basic passes, Owen. That is the shocking part. The very basic passes, apart from passing around the back line, you know, passing to the fullback, back to the goalkeeper, center back, keeper. Once we move the ball up, we can't do anything. Our passes are the most nonsense. Barcelona, that used to be a tiki-taka team, yesterday they were using the most direct routes. They get the ball over the top to Rafinha. Man U will have our wingers running at the ball. In fact, there are sometimes that is the easiest pass to give. Yet the person would want to give cross-field complicated pass. And I'm like, simplify your game. But then we give the other one and we lose it. And then even the simple one that is in front of you, you lose it. And I'm wondering, what exactly has changed? You know, nothing. Which is why at the end of the day, like I said, the war in Opobo, the other one that we had in Obalende, you know, in 1997, with the small riots that we had with the other community, you know,
small
because
riot.
of land disputes.
A small riot, Uncle Man. Did you really put those two words together? We had a small riot over a land dispute. I thought, Uncle, where's this story going, man? I give him. I think there's got to be like a little bit, you know, one war story per stream or something like that, right? One war story per stream, and then we, you know, and I have to like think a few steps ahead. I go, where are we going, Uncle, with this one? Although, I mean, Uncle, he was there the other day for the shocking betrayal on KG's channel. I got called into that, by the way. That's more entertaining than this pissing game this evening, was the shocking betrayal on KG's pro clubs. Awful. And you know who you are if you're in the comment section, yeah? You know who you are. Shocking. Absolutely terrible. Knife in the back. Awful. Let's see if we can get any quotes from Eric Ten Hag and the players after that game. Oh, that was the other thing, actually, too, wasn't it? That was the other thing. Jose Mourinho got sent off this evening. And actually watching it back, he really didn't deserve to get sent off at all. I assumed that he had gone nuts at the fourth official. And I assumed that, you know, he'd done typical Jose. But actually, he really hadn't done that much. I mean, it was never a penalty. It was a clear dive. Player jumps up in the air and falls down. But he didn't deserve to get sent off for it. And And again, that's the other frustration, isn't it? Is that, I mean, no disrespect, Jose Mourinho, look, he won it all in football, but it's like you're looking at them going, it's Mourinho, it's Fenerbahçe, and like we're not playing great, like just not good. But Jose Mourinho got sent off for being Jose Mourinho, basically, which is bullshit. Like, he got sent off because of his reputation, which is ridiculous. Like, that was a joke. Jose Mourinho said after the game, because he has a feeling they lost 2 points means his team played very well. He also said Onana made 2 incredible saves in our fantastic initial period because we started the game so well. They scored in a situation where we knew they could because of the pace of the wingers and the arrival of the midfielders. Erik ten Hag has said after the game, 2 points away versus Fenerbahçe and Porto. It's a result. But of course, we want to win these games. We want to win every games. He says, away from home in Europe, hectic ambience. To start with 4 attackers is too much. Mazraoui is very capable to play in that position. I made him a fullback when he played number 10. He was helping midfield, supporting Xerxes and pressing. Big part of the goal for Eriksen. He also says, best thing I can do, Mourinho said rather, best thing I can do is go to a team who does not play in UEFA competitions. So a club at the bottom of England who needs a coach in 2 years. I'm ready to go. I don't want to speak anymore about it. I mean, he literally trying to get out of the job. Anthony has also left the stadium in crutches. There's a picture of Alex Crook photoing him that he's left in crutches and a protective boot. Erik ten Hag was also asked about Ahmad, and he said, Ahmad is doing well, but I must also reward the performances of Anthony in training. He is a threat almost every training. So I felt in that moment to bring him to decide the game. Look, when it comes to some of the stuff that Ten Hag saying that, you know what it is also as well, where it's like after some of these games and after some of these results, and you hear some of the things that Ten Hag says, they're only going to probably frustrate you or anger you, really, aren't they? Because what's he going to say? He's going to come out and try and defend it. He's going to come out and try and defend his decisions. He's going to come out and try and defend the result. I don't think there's a lot to defend, really, because it's kind of indefensible, you know, with some of the performances. I mean, to be like tonight, I think this is also why it's not like complete total outrage this evening, is because it's not the worst performance we've seen from United, is it? You know, it's not the worst performance we've seen. It's the same disappointment. It's the same disappointing feeling. It's not the worst one, and also it's also not surprising. So it's like that's where I'm at. You know, Uncle was saying it. Show was sort of saying it. It's just you're just deflated, isn't it? Just deflating. That's just where Man United are at the moment. It's where Man United are. It's where we're at. We're not great. Well, that's probably even not good. As far as the weekend, I could see us winning at the weekend. You know, I could see us winning at the weekend. I thought we would win this evening. So, by the way, say that to your naysayers. I thought we would win this evening. Because, and to be fair, Jose is right with what he was saying. When you see it before the game, when he's saying like they've got nothing to worry about, when you do watch them play, you don't really have much to worry about. They're not great, are they? You know, they got some old Premier League players that can still do a job, but there's nothing to really fear that much about them. But we are what we are in Europe, which is not good. So that's that's where we're at. And as Show kind of touched on earlier on, it's acceptance, but it's not acceptance. I'm not necessarily accepting that, you know, that it's fine where we're at, because I don't think it's fine where we're at, hence why what I've been saying recently. But I accept that whilst where we are at the moment with the coach and with these performances, I also don't expect there to be these unbelievable performances or this incredible turnaround, because just don't see the evidence there that that's going to happen. I just don't. I really, really don't. Honestly, probably the most exciting thing about this game was trying to figure out what the shape was going to be before. Is it going to be a back three? Is it going to be a back, five? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? It's crap, isn't it? It's rubbish. We last won a game in Europe a year ago. And that is not acceptable. That is not acceptable. I still think we'll go through. It's not, again, the individual result this evening, I'm not like furious about or anything like that, because it was a game I kind of earmarked as a loss or a draw, when the draw was made. But we're not trending in the right direction. We just feel kind of directionless, don't we? We feel just very flat, feel very deflated. And that's also why I was saying during the international break to do something, because it just feels like we are drifting towards an inevitable decision, which will be at some point that Ineos decide to go and do something else, then that will probably come at Christmas, maybe, or maybe in the next international break. And it all kind of feels like, and you want to talk about acceptance, it feels like an acceptance of that's where we're going, but we're just going to go there. We're just going to wait till we get there, basically. Well, I've put the destination in the sat nav. We'll wait to get there. That's where we're going. And you go, but if we're going to go there, it's like fixing any problem, isn't it? That, I tell you what, I haven't, that pipe's leaking there. Could you fix it now? No, we'll wait till it bursts. You could probably fix it now, though, couldn't you? Now, let's wait till it bursts. And then it bursts. It's all over the floor. And you go, right, now we'll fix it. You go, you knew that was going to happen. Yeah, but, go, well, then what are we doing? Javid has been a member for 10 months, says, so Owen, reading between the lines, Erik ten Hag is saying Ahmad has not been doing well in training. I don't know. Look, we mentioned this actually before the game kicked off. When it comes to decisions or players and stuff like that in press conferences, Erik ten Hag will always defend his players, himself, his decisions. I mean, there was the question, wasn't there, about in the press conference, the pre-match press conference, about one of Jose's criticisms, which, by the way, he was right, which was United in Europe aren't an elite club anymore. And we can get, defensive about that, but it's true. Hence why we haven't won a game in a year in Europe. One game at 11. And Erik ten Hag tried to defend that because that's what he has to do at a press conference. So he was like, oh, well, in the first season, we played very well in Europe. And you go, yeah, but Eric, but that's like 2 years ago. 2 years ago in Europe. And last season, and he goes, well, last season it was domestically and, in European point of view, it wasn't great. And you go, well, it wasn't great. And this season, it's not great. It's not. And so it's just deflating. Just deflating. But there you go, guys. And an abridged, short, full-time view for you this evening. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You'll be getting Flex's reaction from Istanbul, from Turkey. And I'll be live tomorrow morning for the morning view. We'll go through all the quotes and any other news stories that are happening as well. I'm out of here. Have a good one.